What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for watching another video. Today we're going to be working on the S3 again. We're going to be doing a major maintenance slash upgrade technically, and that's going to be the spark plugs. So as you guys know, I'm stage 2 EQT 93/E30 depending on the fuel that I'm using, and I have not done the spark plugs yet for the car. Now EQT recommends at least a one-step colder plug. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I have the OEM Audi RS7 spark plugs that are going to be going into this car. They are one range colder than the stock ones that come with the S3. So this should be a really nice upgrade. I have noticed a little bit of knock here and there from random cylinders and seeing like -1 sometimes. So that's not a good thing. And this should clear all that up because these spark plugs are sufficient for the tune. A lot of the times the stock plugs cannot handle more timing, more boost, and it'll give you an issue, misfire eventually. I know some people do run the stock plugs for a little while. They'll re-gap them to the proper gap, but that's not really the way you should do it. It might last or work for a little while, but you will always foul out the plugs a lot quicker. Plus, you'll see some knock, which is not good. So the RS7 plugs should be a nice upgrade. So anyways, we're going to pull the old plugs, see what they look like, throw these in, see how the car drives, if there's any difference, if it feels smoother. Let's get right into it. Alright guys, so the first thing obviously you're going to do is you're going to pop the hood. We got to remove the engine cover. Just pops right up. It's on 4 little grommets. Alright, so that pops up. And we're going to be working... Got to pull the 4 coils. These are the grounds for the ignition coils right there. They are 10 millimeters. Just get a 10 mil. Hopefully you can find that in your tool bag because it literally took me like an hour to find mine. So got to pop off these grounds, disconnect the connectors, and then we'll be getting access to the spark plugs. Alright, so we removed the 10 millimeter nuts on the top of the grounds for each ignition coil. Now make sure you don't lose them. They are obviously, they're small, they're 10 mil, because if you lose them then you're not going to be able to clamp down the ground and then you're going to get a misfire. That cylinder is not going to work. So make sure you put those nuts in a safe place. So now we got to pop off the connectors that literally just, there you go, there you go, there you go. Just got to pop up from the back, maybe a little flathead could help, and then those pull right off. Okay, so now that you have the connectors for the ignition coils unplugged, the grounds are off, now we got to remove these 10 millimeter, another set on top of the ignition coil. So go. Should come off pretty easily because they're not supposed to be super tight. So it's going to come out the entire thing, the nut with the screw. So we're going to do that for all 4, and it'll give us access to pull out the, as you can see, the coil is loose now. So now all the nut and screws are out of the ignition coil. So now that everything's out of the way, these should just pull on their suction on there pretty well, which is not a bad thing. Okay. These look pretty much brand new, which is nice. I like to keep them in the same order that they're in, so I place them in front of the car to what cylinders they go to. So, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. That's the way I've done it on all my cars in the past, just so that I'm not mixing up the coils from each cylinder. So we have all 4 coils out of the car now. They look pretty good. They look pretty new. They're a little dirty on the top, but the bottom on the boot, they look super good. There's no oil, no fluids on there, which means that's good too, because if there was like oil on here, that would be a big problem. So now we have access to the plugs. So next up, got to pull the plugs out. So I'm not gonna lie, they really don't look as bad as I thought. A little burnt. Looks like the car was running a little rich, but with little pops and bangs on the tune, we'll make that happen. But they don't look too bad, to be honest with you. And yeah, I mean, I know on the record, in the service records of the car, these were done like 10 or 15,000 miles ago, so I'm not surprised. Plus, I've been only tuned for like 2,000 to 3,000 miles anyway, so not too bad. So here we have the new plug. Very nice, very nice. And gonna be using this feeler gauge to test the gap on the plug to make sure that it's good. If I need to re-gap it, I'll do that. But make sure, guys, again, that it's at 24 thousandths or 0.024 of a gap. That's what's recommended when you are tuned. So I'm going to check the gap on the plugs and then put them in the car, put everything back together, and go for a drive. So here's the plug. Going to go to 24 thousandths. This should be the back one. Oh, you know what, guys? Yeah, it's a little loose, so we're gonna have to close up the gap a little bit on these to put them to 24 thousandths, and then we can pop them in the car. As you can see, it goes in, but it is a little loose. You don't want it like that, so this is probably gapped to like 26 thousandths, maybe even 25 thousandths. So got to close this up a little bit to 24, and then they're safe to put into the car. So here are the new plugs compared to the old plugs. They look very similar, but they do have different part numbers. So again, the RS7 spark plugs are a heat range colder than the stock S3 plugs. So I regapped all of these. They were about 26 thousandths, so now they're all at 24 thousandths. The gap is good to go. We're gonna throw them in the car. Just wanted to show you a little comparison between the two because they do look very, very similar. And actually, I mean, they do look identical, but on the part numbers of each, they are different. So these are the stock S3 plugs, and these are the Audi RS7 spark plugs. So just gonna drop one plug into every cylinder like so. Grab my socket. Now, you don't want to over tighten these. I'm just going to do a good hand tight. I don't know what the exact torque spec is. I think it's like 20 or 22 foot-pounds or something like that. But a good hand tight is more than good enough. You don't want to overdo it and break something, or you don't want it too loose and then you're going to get a misfire. So we're going to be that. Like I said, nice hand tight, and then I'll use the ratchet to make it a little more snug. Good. Good. Perfect. So we hand tighten them, so I'm just going to use the ratchet and just snug them up so it's not. Okay. Like I said, you don't want to overdo it. You don't want to break something. Hand tight. Nice little ugga-dugga like that is good. So plugs are in. Now remember, we kept the coils in the same orientation, so we can pop the coils in. So, and now we're just going to do the reverse process, putting everything back together, everything that we took off, back on. So everything is back together now. You don't want to over tighten the nuts that go for the grounds on the ignition coils because, you know, they just need to make contact. You don't want to break them or anything like that. So nice and snug. Everything is nice and tight. Everything is connected. All we got to do is put the engine cover back on and then start it up and see how it is. All right, guys. So first start up with the new plugs in. Let's just see how it is. I have no idea how it's going to go. I know I gapped everything correctly. Everything is tightened down. So, okay. So it seems to be idling well. I mean, I want to take it out for a drive. It is getting kind of late though, so it's not going to be very noticeable, I guess, on camera, but I do have the new LED light for my GoPro, so I guess, yeah, sure, we'll take it out for a drive and see how it goes. All right, guys, so we're gonna go on a quick little drive now. I have to hold my GoPro because I didn't realize that my LED light died, so I have it hooked on the camera and connected charging into the USB port right now. But anyways, first thing I definitely notice, and it might just be in my head, but it feels much smoother. The car just like idling and driving at like low speeds and gear and whatnot. Let me put it in manual mode just so I can have a little more control in the car. But it definitely feels a little smoother. Let's see. Okay. Give it a little like second gear roll on there, but it definitely feels smoother. I mean, at least around town. Let's see. Wow, okay. That was about 25 pounds in third gear and 0 knock, which is good because I did notice when I would do like half to full throttle pulls, there was times I was seeing like 0.075 or -1 knock, which obviously you don't want that. You don't want any kind of knock when you're driving, or as minimal as possible. But wow, okay. I will say the car feels really good with these plugs in. It feels way smoother. Again, it might just be in my head. All right, guys, so I have been driving the car for about like 10-15 minutes now, and again, it feels great. I have not seen any knock so far on my access port, which is fantastic. So I definitely say that hopefully this will reduce or completely eliminate the little bit of knock that I was seeing from the stock plugs. I will link the plugs that I got from the RS7 in the description. I got them from FCP Euro, I'm sorry. So I'm gonna put that in the description for you guys in case you want to pick some up. And the good thing with FCP Euro is that they have their lifetime warranty. So if the plugs ever go bad, whatever the case is, you can always swap them out under warranty. And that applies to anything that's on their website. Anything, even from oil, you can do under warranty. So keep that in mind. If you buy plugs from them or anything from them, you can swap them out whenever they go bad, and they'll honor it and they'll refund you your money. So it's amazing the way that their lifetime warranty works. But anyways, guys, hopefully you like this video. This maintenance / upgrade from the stock plugs is definitely recommended. You need to do it. It will make the car perform better, and you won't have to worry about any dumb things happening to the car. But please like, comment, and subscribe. It lets YouTube know that I'm doing a good job, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.